Welcome to, it's a bit of a mess, and you'll never see, oh, that's a bit loose, we need to tighten that up. You'll never see, or should I say rarely see, one of my vehicles having dried with all the mud on it after a trip out. But I'm a dad of a 2-year-old, and we needed to do things when I got back, so I put my toys away with dirt on, and shame on me. I don't know if I'll ever live this down, but my boy's more important than my toys, so there you go. We are here to fix the breakover on the TRX4. Now, you're not going to raise the slider up without fitting the aftermarket thing that I can't remember the name of. I have to stop doing all the Crawler Canyon gestures. Mr. C, you've infected me or incepted me. So we've got some black 10mm spacers. They do recommend on the Traxxas website that you're looking at now, they recommend 8mm, but I'm going to try 10mm because I really do want to raise these sliders up. Just like Mr. C, throughout this episode, the recent episode in the frozen garden, I was shouting sliders because bloody sliders, they were grabbing everything. They were spoiling some really decent pulls from happening. And sorry guys, I've just noticed that I pinched the seal on this gearbox. There's a load of blue seal sticking out the other side there. So while we're chatting about what we're doing in this video, I'm going to fix it. As you can see, the sliders were getting hung up. It literally disabled me from doing one of my favourite obstacles at the Secret Garden. There's a little pull that you can do, one end of it, and it's very satisfying, and I do really enjoy driving between those two rocks and making them pull up there. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether the TRX4 will do it because of ground clearance, but if it's a ground clearance issue, that's fine. If it's just for vanity reason, because of these sliders that we've already trimmed the running boards off, then that's not good enough. Right, I'm going to get this back on with the seal where it's supposed to be, and then we'll deal with these. And just test fitting, just to make sure that these drop in, and yes they do. But these are 10mm, they're not going to cut it now because the spacers are 10mm. Because we're increasing it by 10mm, we're going to fit 20mm. So I'm just going to grab some 20mm graded hardware for this. 420, lol. And simple. We just literally take the 420s, and if you do actually decide to take both of these off at the same time, you just need to be aware that what am I trying to say? You need to be aware that these are sided, so you can't get mixed up, otherwise things will cease to fit in the spot that they're supposed to fit in. Now, I hadn't really thought about this, but this is going to be quite tricky, isn't it, to get those in there. So I think Mr. C did a bit of woodworking where he made a plastic piece that fit in there, and pinched itself in so that it wouldn't move when he was doing that with it. I'm gonna have a problem there, so let me think about how I fix this and then I'll be back. I think we're on, guys. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna be thinking of a slightly slicker solution, because this isn't it. I think had I have got the capabilities, you know, the workshop facilities that the doc's got, maybe I would have gone that route myself. But I think like, have we made it work? And I think we've made it work. So let me get this screwed down, and we'll see where we're at. Man, them shocks do like to stick. So I think they're all the way down. They feel like they are actually all the way down. We do have a tiny bit of interference there, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. So the next job will be to remove about 10 mil, because we've gone up with the slider 10 mil, about 10 mil off of the body. I'm going to do 8 mil first, and then I'm going to do 10 mil, because we can always cut more, but we can't add back. We're going to go across the tips of these ones, I think. Hopefully you can see what I'm on about there. So that looks to me like we're taking off about 6 mil. But I'm quite happy to be taking off less than we need. We've gone astray slightly there. Let's get back on. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy to be taking off a little bit less, because obviously we can always take a little bit more off. I'd rather be a little bit shy. Let's have a look. Let's bring Rex back in and see if she clicks down without any interference. Wow, I can really see the difference. 10 mil. I keep telling my girlfriend 10 mil's a lot. She won't believe me. That's really nice. I'd say the amount that I took off there is about what we're looking for on the other side. Right, I'm not going to film the other side, guys, unless I come up with a much slicker solution for fitting the 10 mil spacers. And if I do, I'll share it with you. It's a 12 mil. Guys, what are we going to do? Like, I've got some 10 mils in white, in plain. Oh, we're gonna have to use one. I'm just gonna tell my brain that it's not in there, because that is the only way we're gonna be able to cope with that being in there. Is it at the back? Yes. Is it less likely that I can see it? Oh look, this is a screw on. It's time for me to order some more spacers. If you're wondering where I got these from, I will post a link down underneath the video in the description, wherever it is in the future, and you'll be able to find it there. The good thing about using the silicone to hold these in place while I do this is that it's very soft. It's not going to bind them up or cause me absolute nightmares in the future like it would have done if I'd have used something a lot more permanent. So let's get one side on at a time, he says. Right, just going to get these to bite. Here we go. Spin over to this side. Make sure that cable doesn't get jammed, and we're going to get the ugga dugger, because these are really long screws. I think these were 22s, a couple of these, so we better just check we haven't come all the way through. No, perfectly flush with the bottom. That's it, guys. Right, I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up. We'll trim the other part of the body. And then the other thing I was having a little bit of problem with was this rear bumper. So we're going to sink that in as well. And that is something that the Doc has done in his TRX4 tuning series, which I'm going to link to. If you want to find out how to take your TRX4 from sport to special, go and watch his video. So here we go, guys. This is the moment of truth. Look at that. Factory. That looks almost factory. Bumper is in on the furthest in hole, so we're going to have reduced the problems that we were getting with Breakover. And let me tell you, the problems that we were getting with Breakover were numerous. And the sliders now, let me see if I can get it into a position that works for the camera. We have raised the sliders higher than the skid. So we are definitely going to have a lot more clearance there. We're not going to find out how much better it is until we can get to the secret garden and repeat the obstacles that we were stuck on. But I'm really confident that it'll at least give it a much better go than it did before. If not, conquer those obstacles that we were getting stuck on. I'm much happier with the departure angle is a lot better. It's still not great, but when you've got that much tail, which you can't see, when you've got that much tail sticking out the back, you're gonna have a reduced departure angle. The approach angle was significantly improved by fitting the Enduro bumper. Links to everything are going to be in the description. Now, I'm not going to recommend you buy the 10mm spacers that I started with in the beginning of this modification. I'm going to recommend that you buy threaded ones, because the threaded one was so much easier. I didn't have to get the silicone sealant adhesive out as a makeshift holder for them. It was so much easier with those. So links to everything that I've used and everything that is in the Rex build, links to everything are going to be in the description. And look out for these, guys. These brass links will be available later in the year for you to purchase, and you can add some nice low down weight. You'll see that Rex is very well behaved, and some of that is to do with these lower brass links and front suspension links in brass too. We've got a this versus that episode coming up, where we're going to be putting the Rinks Racing Rocks tyre, crawler tyre, sorry, up against the Enduro King Trekkers and one other tyre that I've got that you might be interested in. But you'll have to watch the episode to find out. Remember, guys, no matter the question, it's just up there. Love is always the answer.